Most men don't fake love with words, they fake it with their bodies. And when you're lying there thinking, this feels real, he's already making plans for someone else. But here's the truth nobody's telling you: how a man behaves in bed reveals everything about his heart. And if you're an older woman who's tired of guessing, this is your clarity, because when it's true love, a man shows up in bed completely differently. It's the way he slows down, the way he looks into your eyes, like you're not just his lover, but his peace, and you'll know it, not by what he says, but by how safe you feel wrapped in silence after. He's not rushing off, he's holding space. So if you've ever laid there wondering, was that just sex or something deeper? Let's break down what real love looks like when the lights go out. Before we go deeper, I want you to pause this video right now and type in the comments, "I deserve the kind of love that doesn't disappear after pleasure," because saying it aloud makes it real. Let's dive in. When a man is truly in love, his emotional presence during intimacy is undeniable. It's not just about the act, it's about being with you in that act. There's a groundedness in him, a stillness that speaks volumes. He's not trying to impress or perform. He's not caught up in ego or driven purely by lust. He's tuned in to you. Emotionally present means his mind isn't elsewhere. He's not using you to distract himself or to feel validated. He's not focused on how he looks or how you're reacting just to feed his own sense of worth. He's connected to what you are experiencing, what you are feeling, and he's deeply attuned to the energy in the room. You'll notice he makes real eye contact, not just in the beginning but throughout. That's rare. It shows he's not afraid to be seen, and more importantly, he wants to see you. A man in love doesn't rush past the emotional connection, he lingers in it. His touch slows down, his breathing matches yours, and there's a softness even in moments of intensity. That softness isn't weakness, it's intimacy. It's vulnerability. It's someone who is emotionally safe within himself, and therefore able to offer that safety to you. And that's what changes the entire dynamic in bed. When a man is emotionally present, he listens without words. He notices how your body responds. He doesn't bulldoze through your signals or focus only on what pleases him. He's studying you, not in a clinical way, but in a caring one. He's trying to understand what brings you joy, what brings you peace, what brings you alive. And that understanding isn't about mastering technique. It's about love. Because love is attention, love is focus, love is presence. And in those quiet moments, when the physical pauses and all that remains is the closeness, the warmth of skin against skin, and the sound of breath, he's still there. His hands are still on you. His lips are still close. He's not checking his phone, not reaching for distractions. He's absorbing the moment. This kind of presence can't be faked. You feel it in your chest, in the back of your throat, in the way your body releases tension, because suddenly you're not just being touched, you're being held. Held emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And in that holding, there's a kind of unspoken promise. You're safe with me. It's not loud, it doesn't need to be, but it echoes. When a man is truly in love, something fundamental shifts in the way he approaches intimacy. He slows down. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. His intention is no longer rooted in urgency or outcome. He's not trying to get somewhere, he's trying to be somewhere. With you. You'll notice he takes his time, not because he's unsure of himself, but because he values every moment you're sharing. He's not measuring the experience by how quickly it escalates or ends. He's measuring it by depth, by how deeply he can connect, how fully he can make you feel seen, touched, and desired. A man who slows down in bed is showing you that he's savoring, not consuming. He doesn't treat the experience as a means to satisfy a craving or an itch. He sees it as a space where something sacred can unfold. He lets the moment breathe. He allows time for anticipation, for eye contact, for the kind of tension that doesn't create anxiety but builds closeness. In a world that's always rushing, that kind of slowness is radical. It's intimate, it's rare. You'll feel the difference in the way he touches you. There's patience in his hands. He's not rushing from one thing to the next. He's present in every gesture, as if every kiss has meaning, as if every moment of skin against skin matters. And it does, to him. He's not trying to push you toward a finish line. He's trying to meet you where you are, moment by moment, breath by breath. And because he's not racing, you won't feel pressure to perform or hurry either. There's an unspoken message in his pace. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. We have time. That alone disarms so much of the tension that often comes with physical intimacy. When a man is in love, he makes you feel like the experience is something you're both creating together, not something he's taking from you. And that creation isn't just physical, it's emotional. He slows down because he wants to feel everything. Your reactions, your rhythms, your energy. He wants to linger in the space between kisses, to learn the language of your body, to give you room to open up without fear or hesitation. And even in moments of intensity, that slowness never fully disappears. It remains as a thread underneath it all, a reminder that his goal isn't to conquer, but to connect. That kind of slowness only comes from love, from care, from a man who knows that real intimacy isn't about speed or performance, but presence. When a man is genuinely in love, what happens after sex becomes just as important, if not more, than what happens during. He doesn't roll over and detach. He doesn't leave you alone in a moment when you're most open, most vulnerable, most in need of reassurance. Instead, he stays. He holds you. He reaches for you instinctively, without being asked, as if his body knows that the connection isn't over just because the physical peak has passed. That's what real aftercare looks like. And it's not a strategy, it's his nature. When his feelings are real, there's a certain quiet gentleness in him that emerges right after intimacy, when the rush settles. He doesn't pull away from your body, he pulls closer. He wraps around you. He lets his hands rest softly on your skin, tracing slow patterns that feel more like grounding than stimulation. He's not trying to reignite something physical, he's trying to hold on to the emotional closeness you just shared. Because for him, it wasn't just an act, it was a moment. And moments like that deserve to be protected, not rushed through. You'll notice how present he remains. He might whisper something kind, or simply breathe with you in silence, allowing the room to hold your closeness. He's not eager to get dressed, not looking for the next thing to do. He's settled, anchored. You'll feel that sense of being kept. And for a woman who's ever felt used or dismissed after being vulnerable, that kind of presence feels like healing. There's an emotional intelligence in the way he holds you. It's as if he knows what you need before you even say it. He offers warmth, safety, affection. And most importantly, he stays emotionally connected. That's the difference. He doesn't shift into coldness or distance. He doesn't see intimacy as something to recover from. He sees it as something to honor. In those quiet post-intimacy moments, there's a softness to him that says more than words could. He might brush your hair back, kiss your forehead, or simply listen to you breathe. Not because it looks romantic, but because it feels real. He doesn't need to perform affection, he is affection. He doesn't need to pretend he cares. His care is obvious in the way he lingers, the way he continues to choose closeness even when the moment has already climaxed. Aftercare in true love isn't just physical comfort, it's emotional reassurance. It's the gentle message that says, I'm still here, you didn't lose me, we're still connected. When a man is in love, he doesn't just listen to your words, he listens to your body. During intimacy, he becomes deeply attuned to how you move, how you breathe, the subtle shifts in your energy, and the way your body responds to his touch. It's not just about what turns you on, it's about what relaxes you, what opens you up emotionally, what makes you feel safe. He pays attention to what makes you melt, Not because he's trying to be impressive, but because he genuinely wants to understand you on a deeper level. You'll notice he doesn't rush through the experience. He observes the way you react, not as feedback for his ego, but as insight into what brings you joy and connection. When something feels good for you, he stays there longer. When something feels off, he adjusts. Not because you ask, but because he sensed it. That kind of listening is rare. It means he's not stuck in his own head, performing for himself. He's fully with you, mentally and emotionally. He'll ask questions without interrupting the moment. A quiet, "Is this okay?" or "Do you like this?" won't feel like doubt. It will feel like care. He doesn't assume, and he doesn't dominate. He collaborates. Because when love is present, the goal isn't control, it's connection. His ability to read your energy is a form of respect. It says, "Your comfort matters to me. Your body isn't just something I'm using for pleasure. It's something I'm honoring." Even the way he touches you shifts depending on how you're responding. If you're nervous, he slows down. If you're overwhelmed, he grounds you. If you open up, he moves with you. That emotional rhythm he follows is based entirely on your signals, and most of those signals are silent. They live in your breath, your tension, your stillness, your arching. A man in love notices all of it and responds like it's a language he's learned just to be closer to you. This isn't about technique, it's about attention. He's not trying to be the best you've ever had in some performance-driven way. He's trying to be the safest, the most present, the most connected. That's what makes it memorable. That's what makes you trust him. And when a woman feels that her body is being listened to, not just used or watched, it changes everything. You begin to soften. You begin to relax into yourself. Because your body knows it's being respected, not just desired. And that makes the experience less about performance and more about truth. When a man is truly in love, intimacy becomes a space for vulnerability. Not just for you, but for him too. He's not wearing a mask. He's not trying to be a character or play a role. He allows himself to be fully seen, flaws and all. In those private moments, when everything else fades away, you don't just experience his touch, you experience his truth. He's not afraid to let his guard down, to let emotion show on his face, to express softness, to whisper things he doesn't say anywhere else. That's the heart of real intimacy. You'll see it in the way he lets silence exist without awkwardness. He's not trying to fill the space with performance or ego. He allows things to slow, to breathe, to settle. There's nothing to prove, no point to make. He wants to be close, not just physically but emotionally. And that closeness means he's willing to feel, even if it's uncomfortable. It means letting go of control. Letting go of that shield men are often told to wear. You might find him expressing things during or after intimacy that he wouldn't say in a public conversation. He may tell you he missed you or how much he values your connection, or how you make him feel understood in a way no one else has. These words don't come from lust. They come from emotional safety. He knows you see him. He knows you're not just reacting to his body. You're responding to his essence, and that opens him up in ways he didn't expect. There's something tender in his energy that tells you he's not afraid of emotional exposure. He may not cry, but you'll feel when he's letting you into a deeper layer of himself. Maybe it's the way he looks at you without looking away. Maybe it's the softness in his voice when he calls your name. Maybe it's the way he lets himself collapse into your arms afterward, not needing to say a word. These aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of trust. And just as you feel safe with him, he begins to feel safe with you. That emotional reciprocity deepens the bond. It becomes more than sex, it becomes emotional nourishment for both of you. He's not hiding, he's not guarding his heart. He's letting you in, moment by moment. Vulnerability isn't about oversharing or dramatic confessions. It's about showing up with the full truth of who you are, even in the most tender moments. When a man does that with you, especially in bed, it means his love is real. Because only real love creates the safety to be fully known. When a man is truly in love, physical intimacy becomes more than an act. It becomes his way of speaking devotion without using words. His body becomes a language, and in that language, every touch, every look, every breath says, "You matter to me." He doesn't use sex as a form of escape or validation. He uses it as a way to reassure, to ground, to remind you that you're chosen, wanted, safe. You'll feel it in the way he initiates closeness, not with pressure, but with presence. Not just because he wants you, but because he wants you to know you're wanted. That's a subtle but powerful difference. He uses intimacy to tell you something deeper. You're enough. When life is chaotic, when you're feeling unsure, he holds you closer. He doesn't withhold affection as punishment or offer it as a bribe. It's consistent. He uses his closeness to pull you back into the safety of the bond you share. It's not about calming himself. It's about calming you. There's a protective energy in him that becomes clearer when he's close. He's not just there for pleasure, he's there for emotional security. And in those moments, you can feel that he's paying attention not just to your body, but to your heart. He'll kiss your forehead in the middle of everything. He'll say your name softly when you're quiet. He'll pause just to look into your eyes, not because it's something he's been taught to do, but because it's something he needs to do. That gaze isn't shallow. It's searching. It's confirming what words can't always capture. Sometimes, without realizing it, you'll start to lean into him emotionally through physical moments. And when he's in love, he doesn't retreat from that. He leans in too. He meets you there. You don't have to pretend to be stronger than you are, and you don't have to hold back your tenderness either. He'll hold it all. And he'll use that moment to remind you, without saying a word, that he's still choosing you, still cherishing you. He doesn't disappear into his own satisfaction. He reaches out after, stays near, checks in. That's how you know sex for him isn't transactional, it's relational. It's another way he shows up. And even when words fail or life feels distant, he'll use his touch as reassurance, as a promise, as a quiet vow that says, no matter how loud the world gets, this, us, it's still real. Because when love is true, physical closeness becomes more than desire. It becomes devotion, felt with every breath. When a man is truly in love, your pleasure becomes just as important to him, if not more, than his own. He's not simply focused on reaching a destination. He's invested in the journey, in how it feels for you, in what lights you up, in what makes you exhale, relax, and feel fully desired. He doesn't treat your body like a checklist or a routine. He approaches it with curiosity, with reverence, with a desire to learn and connect. And that starts with patience. He doesn't rush you, doesn't pressure you, doesn't assume he knows what works. He's willing to explore slowly, carefully, and consciously, letting your responses guide him instead of ego or past experience. He prioritizes your experience without making it a performance. He's not doing it for applause or validation. He's not showing off. There's something quiet and grounding in the way he focuses on your pleasure. He's present with every sound you make, every breath, every shift in the way you hold yourself. And he lets those subtle signals tell him everything he needs to know. He doesn't need you to exaggerate or pretend. He pays attention. He learns your rhythms. He listens to what you don't say out loud. And when something feels good for you, you'll notice he lingers there, not out of habit, but because he genuinely enjoys giving you that feeling. There's a selflessness in the way he touches you. Not in a way that diminishes his own experience, but in a way that shows you he finds joy in your joy. He wants you to feel not just satisfied, but celebrated. Not just wanted, but honored. Honored. Even the way he holds you, the way he kisses you, the way he looks at you while you're feeling good, it all tells the same story. He's not trying to dominate your pleasure, he's trying to share in it. That kind of connection doesn't come from lust alone, it comes from love. Love makes him patient. Love makes him attentive. Love makes him want to understand you, not just arouse you. There's a softness in his hands that tells you he's not just touching your body. He's holding your trust, That trust matters to him. He respects it. And because of that, he's willing to take his time, to ask what feels good, to listen when you guide him, and to never make you feel like your pleasure is a task or a burden. With a man in love, your satisfaction is not an afterthought. It's a priority. It's something he gives freely, not because he has to, but because your happiness, your safety, your release deeply matters to him. When a man is truly in love, he doesn't vanish after intimacy. He doesn't let the moment end the second the physical act is over. He stays, not just in the room, but in the connection. He remains emotionally available, mentally present, and energetically close. There's no sudden coldness, no emotional withdrawal, no shift in behavior that makes you question if what just happened meant anything to him. Instead, there's consistency. What you felt before and during is still there after, and that's what makes it real. You'll notice he doesn't act differently. He doesn't become distant or unreachable. If anything, he becomes softer, more grounded, more interested in keeping that emotional thread alive. His affection doesn't suddenly stop once the moment has passed. He keeps holding you, keeps brushing his fingers over your skin, keeps checking in with you, even if it's just through silence. That silence doesn't feel empty, it feels full. When a man is in love, post-intimacy becomes a continuation, not a conclusion. He wants to be near you afterward. He wants to hear your voice, to see your face, to share space with you. He might not say much, but his actions will speak for him. He'll bring you water, cover you with a blanket, pull you closer, or just lie there, fully present. It's in these moments that you feel the depth of his emotional investment. He doesn't treat sex like a transaction, something exchanged and then forgotten. He treats it like an extension of the love he already gives in every other part of your connection. And because of that, he wants you to feel secure. He knows those post-intimacy minutes are vulnerable. He knows that's when doubts can creep in. So he makes sure, even without trying too hard, that you feel seen, valued, and kept. He doesn't leave you emotionally hanging. He doesn't act like he needs space suddenly or that he's uncomfortable with closeness. In fact, the more he loves you, the more he wants to protect the intimacy you just shared. He might tell you how much he adores you in that quiet, sleepy voice. Or he might just look at you with warmth that says everything. What matters is that he's there, not just physically, but emotionally. And later, when the moment has passed and you're both back in the rhythm of life, you'll notice something else. He still treats you with that same tenderness. He doesn't use intimacy to create temporary highs. He builds consistent safety. Because for a man in love, the connection doesn't end with the act. It deepens. It lingers. It becomes part of how he keeps showing up for you, again and again. So here's what I want you to remember. When it's just lust, it feels rushed, it feels hollow, and afterward, you're left with more questions than answers. But when it's real love, it feels slow, it feels safe, it feels like someone is listening to your body and holding your soul. He doesn't disappear. He doesn't make you guess. He doesn't treat intimacy like a game. He treats it like a gift. Because that's what you are to him. So the next time you find yourself wondering if he loves you, don't look at what he says. Watch how he touches you. Watch how your body relaxes. Because it knows. This time, it's not just passion. It's peace, and that kind of love, you never have to chase it. It stays because it chooses you over and over again.